Laker fans, how we doing? My name is Sammy Long, coming at you guys with another Laker preview video. This time getting ready for the Raptor game tonight. Should be a good one. The Lakers saw them earlier this year. Was a win for the Lakers, but it did get a little hairy there at the end of the game after jumping out to a 25-point lead early on. I'm talking about them. I'm going to talk about DLO Postgame, and I'm going to start off here with the three ball. The three ball was working the other night. And I know people are going to go, well, it's the Sixers. The Sixers haven't done anything all year. Now, they were very injured. Joel Embiid didn't play. Tyrese Maxey didn't play. I don't care because the Lakers' problem is not showing that they can beat good teams. The Lakers can beat good teams. They beat the Suns. They beat Minnesota. They beat the Kings. So that's not an issue for the Lakers that they're just beating up on bad teams and they can't beat anyone that's worth anything. The problem with the Lakers is consistency and showing up for teams that they should beat. Like they should have beat the 76ers. They did. They didn't show up against the Pistons. They almost blew the game against the Raptors the last time, but they were able to pull that out. This is a game the Lakers should win tonight. They're favored by 10.5 right now. This is a game that they should win. But I think one of the consistency things that hasn't gone the Lakers' way is three-point percentage. I mean, they have not shot well in the losses from three. It's definitely been a struggle. Against the Sixers, they went 16 for 35 from three, and they shot almost 46%. So that was huge. I mean, that was exactly what the Lakers were looking for. And you got Austin Reeves in an unreal game, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 6 for 10 from three by himself. At one point, I believe he was like 5 for 5. So he went crazy. And it's kind of encouraging that these guys are starting to heat up, knowing that Dalton Knecht was over 5 from 3. 1 for 8 on the game, 2 points. Knecht's going to be great. Knecht's going to have rough nights. He's a rookie. It's unfair to expect him to have a high level of production every night. He had a rough night and the Lakers still won. And other guys picked up the slack, but that's going to be your three-point specialist. He's going to hit those shots. It was just a tough night for him. And it was cool how the Lakers kept beating him. They were kind of trying to get his confidence back. It just wasn't working. But I expect him to be better tonight. That's what JJ Redick was looking for, is, that threat from three, because the Lakers last year were great in the paint. I believe they were like number 2 in the league in the paint. But it doesn't matter when the other team's shooting threes and you're hitting twos. It's tough to win the games. Kind of heading back to that game, 80, unreal 31 points. Still looking for more stuff from Rui, 9 points. He's really been struggling recently. First day back from an injury, so hopefully he's better tonight. LeBron, 21 points, 12 rebounds, 13 assists. I mean, what can you say? I mean, he's still doing it at this age. It's pretty crazy. Cam Reddish, I know he only had 3 points, but 5 rebounds, 2 assists. I loved it. I loved the energy he brings defensively. Clearly, the D'Angelo Russell going to the bench thing, 7 for 12, 18 points. I'll get into him in a minute. Gabe Vincent, really, he was my biggest kind of watching the game takeaway of like, why is he only taking 2 shots? I mean, there was a play where he passed up an open 3 to give it to D'Lo, and I get it, D'Lo was heating up, but Gabe Vincent, you're getting paid too much money to be passing up open looks. You're supposed to be a 3-point specialist. You're supposed to be a guy that can hit threes and play defense. And if you're not taking threes, I don't get it. I guess the one bummer from the other night, Jackson Hayes, 3 for 4, 8 points. I touched on the Knecht struggles. Max Christie barely played. Lakers got the win. That's going to have to change. He can't make $8 million a year to sit there and not play, or they got to move him for someone or try to get his stock up and move him, because that's a colossal failure if they're paying him $8 million a year. Maybe it was just to get his head right, and the Lakers need to get back on track. But they can't just give up on Max Christie, because he really has to be playing with making that kind of salary. Just like Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent's making too much money to sit on the bench and not play, and they need those guys. This is hopefully a get right game for Max Christie. I hope he gets some minutes. He had a nice game against the Raptors. He had 7 points, 5 rebounds. Kind of brought some energy, especially when they were cutting that lead. It was a 25-point lead at half. The Lakers were shooting the lights out. Cut it to 18, 16, then AD hit a couple shots, got it back up to 21, 22, and then they kept going and cut it all the way down to 6 or 5, something like that. It was 5 points at one point. But the Lakers, D'Lo hit a couple big threes and was able to kind of pull the game out. So, but hey, the Raptors are going to be hungry tonight. They obviously are going to want some get back. They're 2-8 on the year, but we'll get some more of them in a minute. Looking at DLO post game. Obviously, D'Angelo Russell was kind of the maligned patient coming into the game. People were really frustrated with him. I understood some of it. I get it. He was really struggling, and obviously the clip went viral of JJ Redick throwing it, almost pounding the bench, his seat on the bench when D'Lo got blocked in that Memphis game, and he kind of talked about his effort and called him out specifically. I think it was also other guys. Gabe Vincent wasn't playing well. Max Christie, Reeves had a tough game, but D'Lo definitely kind of, and Rui didn't play in that one, but has been struggling. He definitely got kind of the blame, but I get it. He's making a lot of money. Last night, 7 for 12, 18 points, was excellent, looked locked in. That's what I think everyone was waiting to see. Is this D'Lo going to be like, screw it, I'm not starting, trade me, I want out? Or is he buying in like he was talking about all offseason about being serious and feeling like he could have gave more effort last year and things like that? He said post-game, I left all my baggage at the door when the Lakers fired Darvin Ham. I'm egoless. I just want to win. I mean, that's awesome. That's listening to him post-game, it didn't feel like a PR stunt. It really seemed true. He's here to win and knows that this is like, D'Lo's got the potential to be a part of something special, and he's bounced around the league a lot. He talks about how he wants to be a Laker. You know, that the team that drafted him loves the Lakers. It's like, this is the last shot. And coming off the bench, I think it works strategically. You add a elite defender in Cam Reddish that can kind of help offset some of the deficiencies that Austin Reeves brings you at the shooting guard spot. But now you're adding, the Lakers have had trouble scoring on the bench. You're adding a guy. Now D'Lo's going up. D'Lo can score against first stringers. Now he's going up against second stringers, and he doesn't have to worry about a Ja Morant or someone in the game where it's like he's got to worry on the other end of the floor. I think it's strategically really good. And then, you know, if D'Lo's feeling it, then he can close out games. He can run with the starters to do it. But I like, you know, Lamar Odom, as us Laker fans know, was key part of those championship teams. He came off the bench. Six man is a valuable role, and it feels like guys want that starter thing. But when you're starting, you know, AD is getting touches first, then LeBron, then it's Reeves or D'Lo based on who's hot that night. D'Lo now doesn't have to compete for touches. D'Lo can just kind of do whatever he wants. And we know that when D'Lo's kind of feeling himself, he can be lethal. He can be lethal on the offensive end. I love that quote. It seems like the team really loves JJ Redick. Austin Reeves said JJ Redick showed him a couple of clips from the road trip where he wasn't competing hard enough, and he appreciated that because he wants to be coached hard. That's exactly what you want to hear. JJ Redick does seem like he is so invested in it. I love the post-game pressers. Talked about it in my last video. I love how honest he is. He doesn't hide things from the media. Maybe because he was in the media, he kind of appreciates the job a little bit more. But he really speaks it like it is and answers questions. Some coaches won't do it. They give the PR answer. It's very, very vanilla, very, you know, not giving you much. But I love what he's done so far. And it seemed like the players are really buying in. And evidenced by D'Lo really bringing that energy. Because D'Lo could have been like, I'm out. I'm done with this. Quick word on Anthony Davis. JJ Redick was asked what he told Anthony Davis going into the season. Said, I told him to win the MVP. Quick respect to AD's stat line. I mean, 36 points, 35 points, 31, 29, 22, 38, 37, 31. Unreal. I mean, that his low was on the season is 22. That's how crazy it is. He's been excellent. And when AD's playing like that, Austin Reeves was the guy the other night, and D'Lo as well. If they can keep going, you start bringing Gabe Vincent along. Max Christie hopefully can get going, and Dalton Connect. That was a one-off. He's going to be better. He's got all the talent in the world, and I love how, as I mentioned earlier, how invested the Lakers were in kind of trying to get him out of that shooting slump by getting him the ball and not being like, okay, go sit down, because that doesn't help a shooter. You know, a guy who's a three-point specialist, he missed a couple shots, he's on the bench. That doesn't. You're just sitting there in your head. You know, that was. I thought that was cool. LeBron and them recognizing how crucial he is for a postseason run. Looking at the Raptors real quick, as we mentioned, played this team, won 131, 125. Lakers were rolling this game, up 25 at halftime, cut it all the way back, as I was talking about earlier. This team has a lot of guys on it. They really do. RJ Barrett, 33 points against the Lakers last time. Grady Dick out of Kansas, 31 points. Jacob Poeltl, 19 points, 12 rebounds. He was great. They didn't get much help from anyone else. Scotty Barnes is hurt right now. Bruce Brown is hurt right now. So they're missing a couple of their best players. But I really feel like watching this Raptor team, they're a star away from being like something in the Eastern Conference, because the Eastern Conference isn't super deep. You know, if they were in the West, I think they'd be farther out. But they got a lot of young guys that can ball. They just need a go-to guy. I think their problem is consistency. You know, they're 2-8, and you see the talent there with them scoring like that against the Lakers. But they don't have that guy every night who's, I'm going to get you 25 or 30 points every single night. If they were to get one of those guys, the team is not far away, I think, from being a team in the East that could make some noise, especially with, you know, but not super deep. Just Cavs, Boston, and the Knicks are struggling. Milwaukee looks like an disaster. I don't know what's wrong with them. No one's helping Giannis out, but this get the streak going. Keep the home streak alive. Coming up, you got the Grizzlies. That's going to be fun. Obviously, that game did not go the Lakers' way last week. The Lakers were hanging in it for a lot of that game. People kind of forget that because it got out of hand fast. John Morant saying he doesn't like the Lakers. Lakers don't like him. That's going to be a fun one. I bet the Lakers get a little get back in that game. Rui and AD should be back, obviously, barring no injuries tonight. Then you got the Spurs, Pelicans, Jazz, Magic. So there's a chance for the Lakers to go on a little run here and kind of close it out and get back on that winning track. Because, again, as I mentioned earlier, the Lakers can beat good teams. It's not about that. It's about the consistency every night, showing up and beating the teams that you should beat. Because it's 1-1 on the year. You're able to beat the Cavs, but you lose to the Pistons, you're 1-1. And people get excited about the big wins, and it's awesome. But the Lakers got to win these games, especially in a Western Conference where it's like, I mean, it is bunched up. I mean, the Lakers went from the 1 seed to the 10 seed like that, and they have a winning record. That's how loaded the West is. It's very imbalanced in the NBA right now. The West is certainly better than the East, 1 through 10. To the East, 1 through 10. So I'm excited. Hopefully, Lakers get a win tonight. And thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Alan will get you guys on the show tomorrow. He might be doing a post-game show tonight. I'm not sure. But thank you guys. Appreciate it.